This is Dolynny TV, guys. Well, you know what? It is all over. It's all finished for our Edmonton Oilers in 2018-2019. A game in which a 3-1 victory at the Saddledome. Guys, how sweet does a 2-goal victory at the Saddledome feel, as opposed to that 2-goal letdown the last time I was there, November 17th, when essentially everything we've kind of gone through this past 6 months as Oilers fans started, right? Dolynny TV didn't start really covering the Oilers until that November 17th game against the Calgary Flames, in which I pretty much the next day called for Todd McLellan to be fired, and here we are all this time later, still missing the playoffs, still not a good team, still not overly happy with our team this season. But you know what? Everything kind of goes ebbs and flows, and as bad as it got, as good as it got, we made it through, and here we are, kind of to sit here and review kind of what happened. But more importantly, I'm not going to sit here and break down the season game by game by any means. I'm not that knowledgeable, and I don't think I could make it entertaining enough for you guys to sit there and suffer through it. So, the notes, let's review what's happened in the past couple of days, and then we'll review what's kind of happened throughout the year. Josh Curry sent to the minors, and Brad Malone as well down to the minors, according to Edmonton Oilers Twitter. Who's your source? Yeah, it's the Oilers Twitter, so don't be kidding yourself. Let's go get a couple of things in here. Mikko Koskinen, the big thing, you know what, the big thing, he had a rough go towards the end of the season, but last night against the Calgary Flames, it was just a nice, absolute finish, a flash of what could be. He was making glove saves. Yeah, he was making glove saves, if you can believe that or not. And then you've got him also going out there making a couple of desperation saves, making some beauties, and really swallowing up the puck well. I really liked what Mikko Koskinen brought last night. The guy sitting next to me really brought up a good point, though, and it was very evident in that first period, in which Mikko Koskinen was almost fighting his positioning in net, right? He'd slide over to make the play, but he'd slide almost too much, and we've all kind of been there before last year and a lot this year with Cam Talbot, so I don't know if it's something that Dustin Schwartz has him doing under the goaltending coach idea or what, but it's now being evident that you can see it in Mikko Koskinen just the same as you saw it in Cam Talbot. Hopefully in the offseason we have some changes and Mikko Koskinen can correct that, because he's a big guy. He doesn't need to overslide per se. So that's just one big key I noticed in the first period, but he tuned it back in the second and third a little bit. So Mikko finishes 25, 21, and 6 on the year, 293 goals against average and a 906 save percentage. Let's not pretend those are awesome numbers by any means, but let's not pretend they're worse than what Cam Talbot was last year by any means. He's a winning goalie this year, and realistically, he works on a couple of things. That 3 years, $13.5 million, not gonna be bad at all. You got to pay your starting goaltender some money. If I'd pay anyone, I'd rather pay Mikko Koskinen 4.5 to win this kind of record with a little bit better, like a 25 or 27 and 20 and a 7 would be about a good record to make the playoffs, I think, with Mikko Koskinen. So let's hopefully see if that can come to fruition next year, because I'd much rather pay that than pay Sergei Bobrovsky to be a clown in net half the year, right? So let's not kid ourselves. Leon Draisaitl, according to the exit interviews, if I scored 20 goals this season and we made the playoffs, I'd be happier than I am right now. That brings me to my point. That goal, that Leon Draisaitl 50th goal, I mean, that shift, he had 2 or 3 cracks at it. First time out, you knew it wasn't going in. Second time, god dang, you thought it was going in. Third time, there was almost this disbelief, I'd say. There was almost a disbelief. There was a brief second pause after the puck had gone in the net. For me and for a lot of the people around me, did he really just do it? And we sat there, and then all of a sudden the high fives, the celebration, everything's going on. And man, oh man, did that feel good. You know what? $108 per ticket is what I paid last night. And for that goal, for the victory, I am fine and dandy to have paid that. I have no problem having paid that for the nosebleed seats and to sit there and witness Mr. Leon Draisaitl hit the 50-goal mark. Yes, it's meaningless in a lost season, but it's still a nice mark to move forward and take the positive steps. So Chiasson, the next exit interview, they talked about moved around a bit in my career, and adding some stability would be great. I'd like to be part of this forward group moving forward. Well, you know what? Guess what, guys? Alex Chiasson, honestly, he was on the third line deployment last night, on the first line power play, and let me tell you, I could see that working out very well for us next year. I think if we keep Colby Cave into next year, or we bring up somebody like a Cooper Marotti to be that third line center, Alex Chiasson could definitely benefit from having constant line mates, having a constant role, and whether that be a third line scoring forward who is also put on the first line power play to do exactly what he does every single time for us. Nose to the net, bang the loose puck in. That's how he scored last night. That's how he scored several times this year. And you know what? It's a good thing to see for him that he continues to do it even in the last game of the season. So good on Chiasson. Now, Darnell Nurse looking very stoic. I think everyone who had a career year would trade that to be in the playoffs right now. Well, if that ain't just the summary of the Oilers season right there. A lot of the good guys, the core guys, get career years, but everybody else doesn't do much, and that really costs the Oilers. And you can put it all on the forward group, but it's as much on the defensive group not scoring goals as it is on the forward group. So that brings us to the next smiling face. You can't tell me this face is like, dude, I got to get out of here. This is a smiling, happy Connor McDavid, mostly probably because his leg's not broken. Seems to be fairly positive right now. Thankfully, the bone is okay. He's negative on his x-rays, will be going for an MRI this afternoon, so keep yourself in tune with the Oilers Twitter for that. And there we go, everybody coming in the house. So some games we were that team that could beat anybody, but we didn't find that enough. That's RNH's summary. That's no excuse. That's literally the summary of how this season went. Guys, that 9-2-2 stretch under Ken Hitchcock, we could do absolutely anything. And here we are not being able to do much as, well, we're out of the playoffs. We're 79 points on the season. We're 1 point better than last year, and it could be worse. So let's go quickly. Let's quickly cover the stats. I'm not sure what's going on out there. Connor McDavid, 116 points in 78 games played. Leon Draisaitl plays all 82 games and has 105 points. That's a heck of a game, or a heck of a season for him. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 69 points in 82 games. I'm sorry, if you say he's a bust as a #1 overall pick, you're clearly forgetting that he is the most effective two-way forward, two-way centerman the Oilers have had since prime Sean Horkoff in 05, 06, 06, 07. So forget what you're doing and smarten up a little bit there. Darnell Nurse, 41 points. That's okay. Well, that's the only defenseman that was really scoring any points. Alex Chiasson, 38 points. That includes 22 goals. Oscar Klefbom, 28 points as well. 5 goals, 23 assists in 61 games. So yes, Klefbom should have scored more points if he would have had a full campaign. But that's the prolonged situation with Oscar Klefbom at this point. Zach Kassian goes out there, gets himself 26 points, 15 goals, 11 assists in 79 games. Milan Lucic, we made a lot about him this season, somehow manages a 20-point season in 79 games played. Didn't play last night, by the way. Jujhar Khaira, 18 points in 60 games. So, I mean, mind you, had he played the full game, maybe he would have been all right. Matt Benning, 70 games played, 17 points. Well, again, all right for him, but honestly, that's not who should be getting the 17 points. Adam Larson with 20 points as well. You think the defensive scoring should have been a little bit higher. Adam Larson had 3 goals. Matt Benning had 5 goals. Chris Russell had 3 goals. Ty Ratty, an absolute disappointment this year, 11 points in 50 games. Tobias Reeder, we've known what's been made of him, 11 assists in 67 games played. The biggest, best surprise this year, Sam Gagner, 10 points in 25 games. That's an alright pace. Because should he play all 85 or 82 next year for us as a third line scoring forward or scoring centerman or defensive centerman, whatever you want to say, that would be 32 points for us. And you know what, on this unit, that would be alright. That would be huge. Kyle Brodziak, an absolute disaster of a year as well, 9 points. Guys, do you remember that Jesse Puljujärvi is still an Edmonton Oiler? 9 points in 46 games. Still right there, another bust disappointment season. 24 games played, 4 assists for Andrej Sekera. Honestly, he's just got to go have a great offseason, don't get injured again, and come back fully healthy, and he could be an absolute deadly weapon for us. Colby Cave, well, he did his job to perfection this year. Heart and hustle, but it didn't result in points. 3 points in 33 games. Kevin Gravel, this is a big disappointing factor. I don't expect much out of your 7th defenseman, but 3 assists in 36 games. Played last night, didn't do much. And Alex Petrovic, the 1 assist in 9 games played. Anthony Stolarz, 2 games played, 2 losses, 377 goals against average, and an 897 save percentage. So there you go, guys. That is your Oilers team in review. We finish in the league. This is where I want you to know, because it's where we get our draft lottery position. We finished 25th in the league. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the 7th best shot at the number 1 overall pick. We'll discuss that tomorrow. And then we'll discuss the draft lottery results on Tuesday, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in all season long. We've got a lot more to get to. Don't be a stranger, I guess I should say. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I will catch you in next one.